Hey mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name. But if you're new here, hey! Today we're going to be talking about a topic that has been on the minds of numerous people who watch my content. Today we're going to be talking about when white musicians make black music. And what I mean by black music is it's like an interpretation of what you would consider the typical black music, specifically black American music. In this case, it would be R&B and hip hop. And basically, in this video, I'm going to be talking about what makes a R&B, hip hop type of album, song, etc. It just all depends on what I'm talking about specifically and which artists I'm referring to when I'm talking about this too as examples. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. We're going to start now. Black music is music created by black people with cultural and racial identities being the focal points of black musicians. A few sources I've read talked about why race doesn't play into the existence of black music, especially in the United States with black Americans. I strongly disagree because when you look into why numerous black Americans created their music and the injustices they've faced to make it in the entertainment industry, these examples prove a point that being black while making black music go hand in hand and has to do exactly with what the term is. It comes from a place of knowledge. It comes from a place of your existence, of your reality. A few sources I read, one of them being Stupid Wikipedia, discusses how black music includes the African diaspora as a whole. However, in the United States, refers to black music as black American music. When I planned out this video, originally I was going to be talking about the diaspora into a wider direction, but then I realized that I have to focus mostly on black Americans because we're talking about black American music specifically in this video. Second of all, usually when people refer to black music, they refer to black American music. Third of all, we're in the United States. My audience, predominantly my audience is from the United States, whether we're from a different part of the diaspora or if you're a black American. It all depends. Now we're on the part where we talk about 10 white musicians who make black music or attempted to make black music. I do want to mention that I chose 5 artists from the United States that are white and 5 white artists who are from a different country. And the reason why I did that is because I knew that I needed to, I guess, challenge myself a bit because it's not only just white artists in the United States, it's also white artists in the UK, white artists in insert any country, honestly. But I did notice that it's mostly the United States and the UK where these white artists get so inspired by black Americans. So we're going to talk about that with certain artists in this video. The second thing I want to mention is a few of the artists are either focusing on one album, 2 albums, or 1 song. It all depends. Hey mi gente. This is going to be like an editing me throughout this whole video, and that's because in this video I was drunk, tired, and I guess a bit raspy with my voice. So I'm gonna be coming and popping in this video. Not too much, but we'll see how much I want to pop in to do some clarifications or to articulate myself better. I promise I will not be drunk in any of my videos for the next time. I just wanted to get this video out of the way and not hold it back longer. So I filmed it during the night after coming back out, hanging out with a friend and getting drinks. But next time, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna rest and then film the day after. Oh, next week. Back to the video. Number one is Adele, and it's for her albums 25 and 30.
They pretend like we're not scared of what is coming next.
When it comes to Adele, I personally like her as an artist. I feel like she definitely has a soul and definitely sings very well, and you could tell that she genuinely loves singing, and you could tell that she respects cultures that are not. I mean, people have debated that because of her wearing batu knots, people were criticizing her, but aside from that, I feel like Adele genuinely cares about different cultures when it comes to music. However, I've read a few articles and I've seen a few videos of people accusing her of stealing music from a black artist. So now I don't really know how I feel about that. We really don't know, but I hope. I don't even want to say I hope, because I don't think the black person who's critiquing Adele and her team is lying per se, but there's always loopholes when it comes to certain topics, and maybe try to figure out who's right, who's wrong, or who's in the middle. But I don't know.
The love is a game for.
I also want to say this. Adele doesn't sound like a black woman, because certain people were saying that she does, and I do not see it personally. And also, I can distinct for the most part when someone is black and singing R&B music or pop music versus someone who is white singing pop and or R&B music. Number two is Devin. Devin is a hip hop artist, and he's from the UK. This is the first time I've heard of him. Thanks to one of my subscribers recommending me to put him a part of this video. Never heard of this man, never. But he seems interesting. He does.
Through the wind in my eyes, like tears that I've cried, getting high in the essence of life. Cause tonight we're in London City, and I got about 400 with me.
He made an album called Tales from the Crypt, and this album, in my opinion, is not the best. And this is coming from someone who is not a critic when it comes to hip hop, or like I have like some type of, I guess, certification to critique music in that type of level of expertise. I don't know, but I feel like the song, the album overall is not good. I feel like certain songs are over the place. I feel like Devin is too corny for me. It sounds mean, but that's just my opinion. And what I do want to give credit where credit is due is I appreciate the fact that he put black UK artists in his music, specifically in this album.
Bitches, these bitches. I would've rolled out to the.
And it makes sense as a person who is not a part of the diaspora, specifically the Black American community. So if you think about it, it's more like a respect thing in a way. Even though the people he's collaborating with are not Black Americans, they are Black people from the UK. But it's like a respect thing because it's like you allowing Black people to participate with you, even if they're not Black American. So I can be like, okay, that's not that bad. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of his music in my opinion. Third is Amy Winehouse. We're going to be talking about Rehab. Rehab is a soulful song. It's basically R&B, or it could be considered neo soul, even though to me, in my opinion, neo soul and R&B intertwine with each other, but people do distinct the two.
And if my daddy thinks I'm fine, just try to make me.
When it comes to Amy Winehouse, she's a great singer, and you can tell that it made her happy. However, I cannot condone the racist things that she has done in the past.
Go!
Fly, Frankie Goods and Nips.
Tickle, don't do it.
Fly.
Tickle! Oh, sir.
Goods and Nips and their phantom and blind and gay. Fly, Frankie's Goods and Nips. Goods and Nips.
In case you did not know, yes, Amy Winehouse had a phase when she was racist, and she doubled down when she got critiqued about it and said that she's one of the least racist people, which is like, what does that do for me? Nothing. I need you to genuinely speak out and acknowledge your privilege as a white woman participating in R&B music. I want you to acknowledge, you know what, I'm wrong this time, and then give a decent donation if that makes you comfortable. But what do I know? Number 4 is George Michael.
Sex is something we should do. Sex is something for me and you. Sex is natural, sex is...
George Michael's album Faith is an amazing piece of art. I really enjoyed this album. I've heard this album, I don't even know how many times, but I've heard it a bunch of times. And you can tell that George Michael has respect for Black people, especially Black Americans. So I really appreciated his efforts while he was alive, making R&B music. I do agree this album definitely is mostly R&B music, but I do want to say that I can tell that George Michael was a white man, because I feel like some people probably thought he wasn't, even though it's very obvious when he sings, but and even when he's talking too. But I'm talking about singing right now because we're talking about singing on this video. Number 5 is Symphony Red. Symphony Red is a band, specifically a band from the UK, and the song we're going to be talking about is If You Don't Know Me By Now. If you don't know me by now. Originally, Howard Melvin and the Blue Notes created the song back in 1972. You will never know me. When it comes to If You Don't Know Me By Now, the cover versus the original, in my opinion, you can tell that when it comes to doing something different, both versions execute that well, because you can tell a difference between vocal range. I can tell that both of them, the lead singer and the background singer, both can obviously sing. They sing well. However, you can tell one of them has more of a Black soul. You can tell one of them is a Black person singing. You will never know me. No, you won't. You can tell one of them is being held back a bit from out singing the lead singer. Back to what I was saying. This song was definitely a good R&B effort. And fun fact, the song won a Grammy at the 1989 Grammy Awards ceremony for Best R&B Song. And I forgot to mention, sorry, but the original version of If You Don't Know Me By Now hit number 3 on the US Hot 100 charts, while the remake of the song hit number 1 on the US Hot 100 charts. Number 6, Ariana Grande. We're going to be talking about Sweetener and Thank You Next.
You told me not to be. When you try to cover me, I keep on flourishing. And he's
Both of these albums made me felt like I've basically seen an older side of Ariana Grande. A few people have been saying that you can kind of see that in Dangerous Woman. While I agree, I disagree a bit because Sweetener and Thank You Next were more of an adult effort and exploring for Ariana Grande, especially Sweetener, which, by the way, Sweetener is my favorite album from Ariana Grande. I really enjoy this album. Of course, Ariana is not perfect. She has had a bunch of controversies, and I do not condone that, but I can admit as a fan, she's very talented. I cannot just be like, oh, she's not talented, F her, blah, blah, blah. I can't do that. Like Adele, Ariana Grande sings from the soul too. However, it's her unique soul, just like how Adele has her unique soul, and they both white women, so that's their standard, whatever. I do think she could go further on with her career as long as she tries to challenge herself more and more. That's why I appreciate her working with Pharrell, because Pharrell, I feel like Pharrell challenges his artists who he works with. Fun fact, Ariana Grande won her first Grammy when it came to Sweetener in 2019.
wake up with your girlfriend. Yeah, 'cause I'm bored.
Number 7 is Eminem. We're going to be talking specifically on My Name Is.
Hi, my name is what? My name is His name's Sadie.
Now, I like a few of, not even a few, I'm going to say some. I like some of Eminem's work, and My Name Is the song that introduced me to Eminem. The reason why is because my dad used to hear his music, specifically this album of his, but then also MTV used to overly play this album, so I always remembered it, but then I kind of like forgot about it, and then I had to find my way back to the song, which was like, I think I was around 10 to 12. I think what captivated me about the song is the fact that Eminem was just being himself in the music video, and he expressed himself in a way that you can write a whole thesis on so many topics he hit on in that one specific video, besides lyrically but also visually. So I think it's definitely a good starting point for a debut single. That being said, I want to talk a bit about Eminem's racist lyrics. Back in the late 1980s, early 1990s, Eminem created and then released a song titled Foolish People. Basically, in Foolish People, he was bashing his ex-girlfriend, who happened to be a black woman, a black girl, and talked about how she is not up to par towards white women, And when it comes to this discussion, nobody's saying you cannot praise people within your own race. Of course, it depends how you do it, because I feel like certain people go an extra mile. However, I don't think it's a bad thing that Eminem prefers women within his race, because at the end of the day, he's a white man. Logically, you would prefer people within your race. My issue is the way he approached it in the song, and how he referred to his ex-girlfriend as a gold digger, saying that she used him and stuff like that. But it's like, really? It's the way, like, there's a way to talk about people or to people, especially while you're not really sober. But it was tacky a bit. Number 8 is Justin Bieber. In this portion, we're going to be focusing on his albums, journals, and changes.
She's confident, oh no no, oh no no. She's confident, oh no no.
These albums were both heavily explored R&B. I'm going to be honest, when it comes to journals isn't bad in my opinion. As much as people disliked this album, it wasn't bad, or mixtape, or whatever you want to call it. It wasn't really bad. I'm going to be honest. When it comes to Justin Bieber singing, I don't really get an R&B vibe. I don't even get like originality side of him. It's more like a yes man type of thing when it comes to Justin Bieber. But you know, I could be wrong. Even though I think I'm right, I know I gotta be right. While Justin Bieber was 15 years old, he was caught using the N-word, saying it in multiple ways, and then trying to joke around being a part of the KKK, which is not funny. Then in 2015 or 2016, basically Justin Bieber was accused of assaulting someone, that someone being a black man who allegedly accused him of assaulting him physically and verbally, and then he was calling him the N-word, which I was like, yikes. But if you think about it, it's not too far-fetched when it comes to Justin Bieber. It's an icky situation to be a part of. Hey, me, this is editing me, but I'm showing you the screen because I look hideous right now. So I noticed that I didn't really talk too much about Changes by Justin Bieber, and I'm going to do this quickly right here, right now.
Yummy, yum, na yummy, yum. Say the word on my way, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah.
When it comes to Changes is more of like an attempt to do R&B, but it's really not R&B. It's more of a pop sound. Sure, there are a few influences of R&B on the album, but it's not traditional R&B. It's more of like pop trap, in my opinion. And Justin really was trying to force down that this is an R&B album, to the point that he wanted to be nominated in the R&B category for Changes, which is crazy because this is not an R&B album. This is definitely giving pop, dance, pop trap the closest, if you want to call this a quote-unquote R&B album. Just my 2 cents. Number 9 is Madonna. Madonna created the album Bedtime Stories back in 1994.
My baby's got a secret.
In my opinion, this is by far Madonna's best album, at least for me. I can tell she put a lot of thought into this album. While, of course, there were a few critiques, which we're going to talk a bit more later on in the video, but when it comes to this album, I believe it's a mixture of pop and R&B a bit, but more leaning towards pop, alternative pop, or contemporary pop, or even contemporary R&B. But I do want to say that I'd Rather Be Your Lover is my song. That's my favorite song from the album, behind Take a Bow and Don't Stop and Secret. However, I've noticed that a few people in certain comment sections were critiquing Madonna's vocal abilities with that specific song.
Burn my head.
The final thing I want to touch on is the controversy behind the song I'd Rather Be Your Lover. Hey, so I didn't articulate myself the best I can in this portion of the video, so I'm going to do that right now. When it comes to the controversy behind I'd Rather Be Your Lover, what happened was originally Tupac was supposed to be in the 1994 version of the song.
Media is getting greedier, you make their hips sway, creeping with the blonde ambition. I thought you peeping and I ain't sleeping, got you freak.
But Madonna and her label decided to take him out and ended up adding Michelle. I don't know how to say the rest of her stage name.
Tell me what you want, tell me what you need. Tell me what you want, tell me what you need. I betcha.
Because of the controversy with him allegedly doing illegal sexual acts towards a woman without her consent. When it comes to the both versions, they both good in my opinion. I do prefer Michelle's a bit more only because I'm biased, because when it comes to the Tupac version, it was giving me some kind of Bonnie and Clyde.
They say a blonde and a dub brother, where you getting paid, wish we was lovers.
But the interracial edition, because the way people in these comment sections of Madonna's and in both versions, you can tell so many people had like a infantilization of Madonna and Tupac being a thing, even though they are two complete different individuals, and you can tell that deep down Tupac knew what he was doing was wrong. Sure, people gonna be saying, oh, Madonna was good to him, Madonna did so much for him, and he was ungrateful, which a few people were commenting that in the comment section. That still doesn't mean shit. If you're not comfortable being with certain people, you shouldn't be with them. Case closed. And I'm not talking about race-wise. I'm talking about individually. Both of them are two different people. But people were milking this relationship so much. And it also gives me a weird vibe when you think about it, because it's giving fetish, like interracial fetish, which I wish I could go into more detail in this video, but I'm trying to not be too controversial, because I know when I talk about topics like this, it gets people very triggered, which is very scary. Like, why are you getting triggered with something that is very obvious, but whatever makes you sleep at night. So we're just gonna skip this part and go to the next section of the video.
Could be your sister.
Chill out with that.
I could be your mother.
That's
We
illegal.
could be friends.
Number 10 is Pink, Take Me Home. Take Me Home is a pop and R&B album. But yeah, Can't Take Me Home is a great album. I'm back again because, I was drunk. So I'm going to try to articulate myself better here. Can't Take Me Home by Pink is a great R&B album. Sure, it's also pop, but it's more of an R&B influence from Pink. And she was forced to make this type of music. That's why I tried to give her a bit of grace. And numerous other black people tried to give her grace too when it comes to this. However, if you see how Pink tried to, like, I guess her aesthetic and how she tried to talk and perform, it was giving like she was trying to be black mixed with black, definitely. That's why a few people thought that she was a light-skinned black woman, even though I can easily tell that she's not black or mixed with black, but that's just me. The point is, Pink did a great job making pop and R&B music combined or separately. But the issue was the fact that Pink was pressured to make this type of music. However, she did a great job doing it. I really like this album. I do not agree with the cultural appropriation, but I do have to admit that Pink did a great job while she was making R&B music. I do want to touch on this quickly. I believe that when it comes to black artists making bad black music or whatever term you want to call it, what people don't understand is that everyone has their way of doing their own type of music, even if that's not your style or what you would consume when it comes to black music. And in this case, I'm gonna mention Mariah the Scientist and Brack, Six Brack or whatever, because his name is something similar to that. I get it that people have high expectations when it comes to certain type of music here, especially when it comes to black music, but at the end of the day, these two are black people. They just happen to be black people that make a certain type of music that you probably don't like, which is fine as long as they, to the best of their abilities, try to put effort into what they do. The issue is when they just making the music and it's just completely horrible. Of course, some people may say that when it comes to Mariah the Scientist specifically, but I feel like the same thing could apply to Brack, and it could also apply to anyone, honestly. But I get it. High expectations, but at the same time, we're all different when it comes to black people. We all got our own thing going on, and I feel like we have to find ways to respect each other while also acknowledging, you know what, you're still a black person at the end of the day who's making this type of music. It's not like you're a white person who's studying this type of music or trained. Yes, studying. What the hell? It's not that you're a white person who's studying this type of music, trying to get a straight A just for making black music good, or stealing as well, because there were certain people who did start in music from black artists, but of course not everyone though. Concluding statement and the outro of this video. I feel like I said everything I need to say, but in case people didn't get it, hey, me again in the concluding statement though? Yes. Because I feel like I wasn't as, I was honest because I was, a bit tipsy, but also tired. But I feel like I didn't word it what I wanted to say right. So I'm doing that right now. I feel like when it comes to white people making black music, is it a good thing? It all depends, honestly, because there are some white artists that I do like. Some of them I've even mentioned in this video that I do like their music and I appreciate their talents because some of them, they multi-talented. However, I do know that when it comes to marketing and making a lot of money, they're making so much money and getting so much recognition for doing things that a black person can do twice, if not three times better than them. That's why I do not feel completely comfortable saying yes, white people have the right to make black music. And another conversation, people could say, well, music is universal, music has evolved, a bunch of people make different types of music. While that is true, we all know the main genres. When you would think of someone who is black, you would think R&B, you would think hip hop. You would never think someone who is white You would never think that. We also have to add the artists who do problematic things that are white, and then when they get caught, it's a slap in the wrist. It's not really much of a punishment. It's more like okay, whatever. And I'm saying there's different scales on what you can or cannot consider as problematic. What I'm saying is there are levels to being anti-black, racist, etc. And then when you participate in a genre that is not originating from your community, I feel like you have to think, okay, do I really deserve to be here? Because my track record is showing that I clearly do not like the people who made this type of music, or I do not respect the people who made this type of music. It's complicated to say whether a white person should be making hip hop music, rap music, and R&B music because it's evolved. Like I said earlier, all these genres evolved, and not too many people are gatekeeping to the point where now we have a bunch of people in these genres. Some of them are good, while some of them are okay or bad. And then there are even some who just purposely make this music and then gatekeep it to the point that they do not make an effort into putting on black or mixed with black artists who deserve to be put on and gain the recognition they deserve as well. So, yeah, it's complicated. That's all I can say about that. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video. Please comment, share, and subscribe if you're new here. Please subscribe if you're new here. I would appreciate it. I do want to say, if you're watching this around this time frame, Merry Christmas, and I hope you all have a good new year. I can't wait for what's in store, especially when it comes to the content I'm planning to create. Yeah, this is the final video for 2023, and I can't wait for you all to see what comes next with the channel in 2024. Thank you, and peace, sweetheart.